right, amongst the big games going on this weekend, hot topic of the day here on Friday. What's the most entertaining MLS Cup matchup of the weekend? Of course, single elimination, and we got some doozies ahead of us.
I mean, that now we're down to win or go home. That's it. There's no more of this. Well, we've got the second game back in the other place. And if we lose that one, we come back home and we get a chance to close it out. A series. No, like who's your starting pitcher in game two is not a question we have to ask anymore.
But you want to save your goalie for the return leg, though.
I mean, I guess, yeah. You want to make sure that your arms are fresh when you get to game three or whatever. Legs, I guess, in this case. Conference semifinals. So surprises in the East, right? That's the flavor of the Eastern Conference semis is surprises. We've got Orlando City hosting Atlanta. Now, Orlando City, maybe you could have predicted them getting to this point. Charlotte was their first round opponent. They were favored over Charlotte. That's not a shock. But it's who they're playing, of course, that is the surprise because Atlanta knocked out Inter Miami. And now Atlanta has an opportunity to continue the Cinderella run. And, man, I'm not sure why you would bet against them. I do think this is going to be tense. I do think it's going to be a pretty ugly game for most of it. I think it's probably what we're going to get. That game's Sunday, by the way, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time for that matchup between Orlando City and Atlanta in Orlando. It's a partisan crowd, the drums out there at Inter & Co. Stadium. But Rob Valentino is playing with house money. This is what does he have to lose to go for it against Orlando? He knows he's probably not getting this job. I mean, I guess he's still technically auditioning because I haven't heard anybody else step up. Patrick Vieira is now off the board, having signed a deal to coach Genoa in Italy.
Mascherano's off the board.
Javier Mascherano is now no longer a candidate for Atlanta United. Yeah, that's so sad. Jim Curtin still looms, right, as the X factor in all of these open jobs. St. Louis is open. Atlanta is open. Now Miami's not open, or if Mascherano really is a done deal. And I think I'm missing one more open job out there in Major League Soccer. But this is for Rob Valentino. Yeah, you are coaching, I guess, still to audition for the job. But you are, again, coaching with house money. No one expected you to be here. Why not go for it? Why not make it difficult in Orlando City? They're a solid team, but they're not overly flashy. And so I think this will be a fascinating matchup. I'm attracted to that one, Rob, because of the underdog factor. So there is that, because, again, it's Cinderella with Atlanta United. But if you're talking about, sort of the higher profile games, that's not it, right? The higher profile games are the New York Derby, NYCFC against the Red Bulls. Now, that game's going to be played in a baseball stadium.
Which one? Which baseball stadium?
Game 2, Game 3, Game 7. It's being played in Citi Field. There was, for anybody catching up, Citi Field, they were going to limit capacity to 22,500. Citi Field, if every seat's available, is over 40,000 seat capacity. They've added some seats, so now it's up to 25,000. That should be a healthy crowd. It just won't look good because it's a baseball stadium. The Red Bulls are also their own Cinderella story. I think NYCFC is a better team, but I'm actually not doubting the Red Bulls. I will pick the Red Bulls to advance past New York City FC. In the Western Conference, LAFC and Seattle is now sort of a classic playoff matchup. It's happened multiple times, right? And LAFC has been pretty dominant in this series between these teams when it's mattered. And you were talking earlier that you heard me talk to Albert Rusnak on the radio yesterday. And Albert Rusnak, I think he's just that kind of guy, but he was making it sound like, well, we can't beat them.
Yeah, he was like, we're on a bad streak with them. We seem to lose to them in the playoffs every year, and we'll see if that changes.
Yeah, not hey, we're gonna go and do it. He wasn't like rah. He was kind of like, yeah, well, it's gonna be tough.
It'd be nice if we won.
Yeah, and LAFC at this point is kind of it's kind of hard to root for them. Not because they're villains or anything, or even because they've got Giroud and Lloris but because the way they play, it's not negative because they're not necessarily committed to only defending, but it is manipulative in a sense that they want to get a particular situation, a particular sequence to happen. That sequence being Denis Bouanga on the break. That's basically it, right? Or Brian Hollingshead up the left side playing a ball. Like they are so committed to this bunker and counter mentality that it makes it hard to watch them. And the question, obviously, for Seattle is, can you break them down? That's it. Can you break them down? Can Rusnak and Jordan Morris and all these guys? Jordan Morris questionable because of injuries. I mean, they've had the long layoff just like everybody else. Like, can they figure out a way to break down this LAFC team? And then Galaxy, Minnesota. Minnesota's intriguing. They got the young coach, Eric Ramsey, just came over from Manchester United after being with their set piece coach or something. Showed up late. Was like, oh yeah, no, I'm here. Sorry for being late. Gets them in the playoffs, gets them to this point. They play pretty negative soccer. They have in the playoffs so far. LA Galaxy are the most entertaining team to watch left in this tournament. Am I saying anything out of bounds there?
What, the Galaxy are the most entertaining left?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say from the West, that's the team I'm looking forward to watching the most. I'll say that.
Yeah. I saw Will Coons. I saw an interview. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I saw the headline. I can't remember who it was. It was Tom Bogert of Gimme Sport, who had written a piece with Will Coons. Will Coons said that they viewed Ricky Puig as their quarterback. And what they needed to do was get him some wide receivers. So they went out and got Gabriel Peck and Joseph Pansil, and it has come good. That Ricky Puig connection to Paintsill and Peck is really working out, and it has made them an incredibly fun team to run. Let's not forget they have Marco Royce over there. What?
Yeah, to be honest, is that wild? Is he the biggest name that's had the quietest reception?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of forget he's there, but that's because they already had the pieces in place to be this good. It's not like, oh, we got Marco Royce and now we're good. It was, we're good. Oh, we can add Marco Royce. Okay, yeah, sure. Why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't we add Marco Royce and see what he can do in this team? And he's not critical, and that's good, right? That's good that they have a player of that kind of pedigree who's that successful in his career, and he's a guy off the bench. You bring him on for 25 minutes off the bench late in the game to maintain possession, slow things down, make the game calmer as you see it out, right? He came on when the Galaxy were up 2-1 in the match against Colorado to finish out that series because Ricky Puig added 2 added time goals. But you bring on Marco Royce, you let him just kind of settle things down, and the Galaxy are looking like a very, very strong MLS Cup contender right now.
We talked about the international hangover with the European teams, but this affects the MLS sides, if not maybe more. Do you think which of these teams would you say might be affected most by the long delay?
I don't know that. So there are teams that finished out their series in 2 games, the Galaxy being one of them, right? Where you feel like that's going to be a problem for them more than a team that had to play 3 games because that 3rd game means you've played more recently. But I'm not sure anybody likes it, and I'm not sure it's been good for anybody. Every player I've had a chance to talk to, when you ask them about it, they go, I don't like it, but it is what it is. So I am actually advocating for it is what it is to be the new slogan for the MLS Cup playoffs in 2024. The MLS Cup playoffs. It is what it is. That's what I'm saying right now. That's what the players are saying. So yeah, here we go. Like, I'm excited because I love MLS. I love the playoffs. I love this whole thing. I will admit that it's been tough with this long layoff, waiting for these things to restart. I'm hoping I can get my excitement level back up. We've got the 2 games tomorrow, the New York matchup, LAFC versus Seattle. We've got the 2 games on Sunday, Orlando, Atlanta, LA Galaxy, Minnesota. Hopefully going to be able to watch all of them.
So this is Hot Topic, so I'm going to amp up the drama. Gun to your head, Jason. If you could only watch one of these 4 games, which one would it be?
I think, man, this is a good one.
So I'll give you some time to ponder it because, things can come up. There's, going to the pumpkin or the apple orchard and raking leaves and shoveling snow.
I got a Christmas tree lighting tomorrow, Robert. So that is on the family's agenda. Christmas tree lighting. I'm going to be watching that NWSL final. So, again, I got to check my times. I got to look. Got a 5:30 kickoff for the Red Bulls NYCFC and a 10:30 kickoff for Seattle LAFC. Well, I'm going to squeeze the NWSL championship in between those if I'm watching everything. 3:30 on Sunday, for the Orlando City Atlanta game, 6:00 p.m. for Galaxy Minnesota. I can watch them all, but you're saying if I could only choose one,
There's only
only choose
one.
one. If there's only one, okay, I can't. I'm gonna do a process of elimination here. So come with me here. I can't watch as much as if I'm choosing one. As much as I love the idea of the rivalry, making it more interesting, I can't watch the baseball stadium soccer game. It can't be my number one. I can't pick that one. I'm sorry. My apologies to all of the New York people out there who are watching us today. I will say that as much as I respect Atlanta United's journey to this point after beating Inter Miami and Orlando, and look, Harry says it's an underrated rivalry, Orlando-Atlanta. You're right about that. There's something about that. They're fairly close in proximity, but man, that's not the one that's grabbing me. LAFC has a great atmosphere. The Sounders are. I have so much respect for the Sounders, who they are, Brian Spencer and all that. But I think I'm picking Galaxy Minnesota. I think I'm picking that game. I think the Dignity Health Sports Spa, what bank? What is it? Massage parlor, what do they have over there?
The Galaxy Quest Zone.
Yeah, that place. Home Depot Center is what I'm going to call it. Should be rocking. That's a little different crowd than the LAFC crowd, but it's still loud, still fills up. Yeah, and then it's Ricky Puig is my favorite player in Major League Soccer right now, and it's not even close. Got to watch Ricky Puig.
So LA Galaxy versus Minnesota, gun to your head decision right there.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. It's close. It's close. Look, I can make a case for Orlando, Atlanta. I can make a case for LAFC and Seattle. The New York game gets bumped way down because of the Citi Field situation, but it's got to be Galaxy versus Minnesota.
I got to say, the MLS social media team has done a really good job with packaging. Maybe some Galaxy content too, but during the long layoff, they've packaged all of Ricky Puig's goals and celebrations and some pretty entertaining content. And they've kind of like, I usually don't buy into kind of hype like that, but those videos that they've put out in this international break in between the first and second round has got me excited to watch.
He's
Ricky
a cartoon
Puig.
He's an anime character. He's kind of a ridiculous human being, the way he flies around. He's got those long strides and the hair that's like I sometimes, like, my hair, if I let it grow out, and we all did during the pandemic, Rob, right? We all let our hair grow because you couldn't get to the barber, to the salon. So I had like the waves. Like, I get waves, and like sometimes I'm like, man, I could really make this look good, but it's so much work. It's so much extra work to like deal with trying to like get the right height on it and the volume, and I'm just gonna like, I'll just cut it off for the most part. Cut it off. Ricky Puig is not that guy.
And you have to be pretty brave to get through that awkward middle stage.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Ricky Puig do you think he ever had an awkward middle phase with that haircut? I don't think he did. I think he's just always looked cool. Like, he's always looked good with it. Sometimes it's ridiculous, but it's like ridiculous in a cool way. It's like how my 3-year-old, it doesn't matter what my 3-year-old's hair looks like, he looks good. How does he do that? I don't know. Is it a cute kid thing? Maybe Ricky Puig has cute kid qualities, despite being a full-grown adult man.
He's not very tall, though. I mean, what is he, about 5'4", 5'5"? So I mean,
yeah,
there's a little bit of that. And
then
did you ever attempt it, or did your wife ever attempt a COVID at home haircut?
Oh yeah, twice. First one, not too bad. Thank you very much. You did a great job. Thank you. Second one, absolute disaster. She will never touch my head ever again. Not gonna happen. Terrible. Don't know why. She kept cutting. I kept going, what are you doing? Got done with it. Like, all right, well, at least I get to stay at home and not see anybody for a while. Have an excuse.
That was your hat era after
that? Used to be a hat guy, not a hot guy anymore. So, yeah, you can't even do that.
All right, guys, send us in which MLS Cup match is your do or die. If you have to pick one of them, let us know in the comments. But either way, follow us along on X and the Instagram. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Morning Kick Around on the YouTube. The best way to help this show